So the next vehicle to take on the speed run, it is the Pazima. This is the most powerful V6 version of the car. I might have slightly forgotten about this one. Not expecting it to go quite as quickly as the supercharged Moonhawk. It might kind of possibly challenge the Grand Marshal. I think the Grand Marshal is a little bit more powerful than this vehicle. We could have, again, similar control issues with this. It's the sportiest version I can make it, but it's still not exactly the race cars that have gone down here. I mean, yeah, we're only doing 100 miles an hour, cresting that sort of hill there, and we had been doing 125-ish with that 200BX. So, yeah, we've not really got that. This is actually quite slow. I thought it might go a bit quicker than 113. Come on! It was 127 miles an hour the pickup truck got to. You can't even do that. I mean, it is controllable at this sort of speed. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to meet that tree. Oh, no. We've completely wrapped it around a tree. On that, I've got it bouncing on that bloody secondary bump there. That was unfortunate for the Pazima. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised that this is as slow as it is. I was expecting this to. I mean, the covert is quicker than this. The pickup is quicker than this. The control is not really an issue. I lost the back end over the bumps there. Completely my bad on that one. The control is not bad at all on this, but we are only doing 100 miles an hour down here where we've been going a lot quicker. Or with the car's suspension does seem pretty good on this. I can get away with a little bit bigger movements, but we're also, again, we're doing this lower speed. It landed the jump off the bridge very well. I will give it that. Again, though, we are going at 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour slower than a lot of the vehicles have gone. I mean, then let's actually clear the bridge fully. There we go, and we're still flat out coming down here. We have run it a little bit wide. Oh, it gets really unhappy. There is something slightly peculiar about this vehicle. So, the second I got on the brakes, it got very, very unhappy with me. Now, I will be honest, I was not perfectly positioned for getting on the brakes. As we went over that secondary bump, we were a little bit too far. We didn't really have a wheel on the dirt, but we were quite far off to the right-hand side. That's very weird. It's really nice and controllable through all the way through here. There's no hint of any particular problems. Yeah, I mean, if I wiggle the steering too much here, it's going to go straight into a tree, but any vehicle will if you start wobbling around at 111 miles an hour. It's just when I jump on the brakes, the back end does do its own thing. Okay, 117 miles an hour it got to as we crossed the bridge. So we land the secondary bump. The front end was up in the air. Perhaps that's what was causing issues. Still not very happy getting slowed down. It does get all squirrely as we jump on the brakes. We did slightly crack the windscreen. I think we ran a little wide onto the dirt and we were across a slight bump there. But the Pazima does it. 170 miles an hour makes this our slowest car. That wasn't quite the outcome that I was expecting from this particular vehicle. So, after the slight disappointment of the Pazima, up next, we are going to the Sunburst. This should be much faster. I've got the rally spec car with the race gearbox. I feared that the rally gearbox would have too short gear ratios for this. So we've got the rally suspension, so we should deal with the bumps and the demands of this circuit. Honestly, I don't think it really matters too much. It's only the main jump at the end across the bridge and the slight sort of secondary bump after that I think a race car could potentially have the issue. So hence why we have the rally suspension on this. But the gearbox is the race one, so we should have long enough gear ratios. And sure enough, the Sunburst is rocketing along. We're up to 131 miles an hour as we head down towards this bridge. It's not going to be quicker than the Moonhawk. 140-ish miles an hour. All very controllable as well down here. And no. I mean, we had a slight bump off the trees, ever so slightly at the end there. Yeah, this car, yeah, that deals with the course really very well. I'm going to have another go with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that the rally suspension was the right choice. With this particular one, it was across the bridge without any issue. We're hitting the bridge at 140, is bloody fast. We're hitting that bridge at with this car, and it's absolutely fine. The secondary bump it was okay on. I just messed up my steering once I was on the brakes, and that's what put us around ever so slightly. Oh, back end can get a little wiggly over there, but we have seen that when you're taking 120 miles an hour through that section, the back end will get a little wiggly if you aren't careful. Acceleration is phenomenal in this car. It just runs out of power, runs out of sort of top speed as we come down here. 141 I think we got to before hitting the bridge, and of course now we're losing speed as we're taking the jumps. And oh, don't lock the brakes up, don't lock the brakes up. Oh no, careful, gonna have just a little a little lift off the brakes. I don't have to get the car stopped as quickly as possible, just as long as I get them under control down here. Yeah, about 141 for the Sunburst, and definitely the easiest car I have had to drive down here. Does very, very well at dealing with the bumps. Just got to be a bit careful once you do go to start slowing the car down. Again, if you get on the brakes too sharp and you start losing the back end, or you lock the wheels, then sort of correcting it, you're still going at over 100 and something miles an hour. The little corrections often can lead you to a little bit of trouble. But yeah, acceleration phenomenal. Just runs out a little bit of power, but deals with the bumps of the course very, very well. Our next vehicle, well, as you can see from the front tyres, this one is going to be a challenge. We've got the Barstow. Now, I didn't particularly want to use the drag versions of these cars. I didn't with the Moonhawk. The problem is, with this car, the normal versions have terrible gear ratios, and for whatever reason I can't seem to change the parts. I can't seem to find the option. I know the car is a relatively new addition to the game, so perhaps all of the parts, like the changeable parts, haven't quite been added yet. So, we have to go for the drag car. I have some concerns about this vehicle surviving the course and dealing with the turns. It should be very, very fast if we can make the turns. Right, unleash all of this power down here and then have a lift, because we've actually got to deal with a corner and another corner coming out. It's actually not too bad. It's not too bad at all coming around here. I feared we might have more issues. It turns pretty well. Don't know how all of the wheels and suspension are going to deal with, though, once we get to this bridge. We're at 155 miles an hour with a squeeze of the throttle. Here we go. 168. Oh, no, we're going to lose that coming towards the bridge. Oh, we made it across the bridge. But that was it. Holy crap. The whole front end of the car is at a 90-degree angle to the rest of it. Wow, that is a big shunt there. That is an impressive crash from the drag car there. I didn't actually know the chassis could kind of twist and bend at that sort of angle. Like, the front end of the car is actually quite intact. The engine's fallen out, but it's wow. Okay. It's actually not as bad to drive as I feared it was going to be. I thought we were going to have all of the control issues, but it's not terrible. It's difficult, sure. I mean, it will lift the front wheels off the ground slightly on if you do like a proper sort of drag racing start and so on. Yeah, God, 130. So it's already quicker than the Pazima before we ever get to this first side of King in the straight, where we have to lift off. I'm not going to be able to take much more than 115 miles an hour. The big fat rear tyres do help with the back end to stay pretty planted in this vehicle. Right, unleash the power down here. 165 I think we got to briefly. 168. It's going to do exactly the same thing. Oh, the front end is off. The front end just carried on down there. I can still wiggle the way. Look at it go. It's still magically connected. Right, there is that's quite a broken car. Yeah, as you could perhaps imagine, the engine, yeah, is not doing it. The back's got a mind of its own. Right, so we have got to be quite careful. The problem is absolutely fine. We've got to basically do all of our speed before we start going downhill, because it's absolutely fine up until that point. And as the track drops away, we're carrying so much speed that the back end can't deal with it all, and then we get a tank slapper on at 160 with trees lining either side of the road, and we smack into something. I'm trying to go quicker earlier on here. Okay, 172 miles an hour, and I don't think I'm actually going to get a better opportunity to gain speed after that 172 mile an hour mark there. Yeah, we can't actually do anything over here. Oh, and then on the brakes we go. Gradually bring it down. Don't lock the wheels up. That's how you do it with the Barstow. Yeah, it's literally there is a small opportunity. Oh, we slightly cracked the windscreen. I think that was from bouncing around. Yeah, did a little bit of damage to the front bumper just from bouncing around across those jumps on a drag car suspension. Yeah, you get the speed early on, about 172 miles an hour now is the target to beat, but you can't maintain that speed down towards the bridge because the suspension won't deal with it. Right, can we get a wheelie going? No, not quite. There is a way. I'm pretty sure there is a way. I have had the car do wheelies. I probably need a manual gearbox or something, but kind of. Right, 172 miles an hour is the current target time. Also, it definitely did some of the most spectacular crashes, this particular vehicle. Well, the muscle cars have so far been dominating the top speeds, and now it's the turn of the supercars, starting with a vehicle I can never pronounce the name of it, Bolid. I kind of call it the Boldy because that makes more sense to my dyslexic brain than how it's supposed to be pronounced. Either way, yes, this is the race version of the car with the cool livery, and we have a wing. Hopefully we will have some rear end grip. This car, certainly the early days when I played this game, this car was very quick, very difficult to control. I'm hoping we might be a tad easier to control. Now, that's the hope, because this should be very, very quick. Whether it'll be enough to beat the drag cars, I don't know. Possibly, looking at the performance down here, 126 miles an hour. Can we keep that speed up here? Yes, we can. It's actually quite nicely planted. Much nicer to drive than in the very early versions of this game I played. Right, we're up to 155 miles an hour. We might actually run out of straight for this car. 165 across the jump. Oh, it's the secondary jump's going to get it. Secondary jump is going to get it big time. Oh. Okay, that's a hurty crash, that one. It's actually still... Oh, no, wait, never mind. I thought I thought maybe... the handbrake seems to do nothing to the rear wheels spinning anymore, so I think we might have killed that. The engine is kind of just about-ish trying to do something. It's actually really quite controllable. I'm surprised. I was expecting more issues with this vehicle. As I said, I do remember how difficult at high speeds this supercar was to control, but certainly this racing version, it's a lot easier. It's still very easy. With any of these cars, you start wiggling the steering too much at these sort of speeds, it will go and hit something solid very, very quickly. But this is 138 miles an hour we took going over the crest there, and it's fine. Didn't even have to lift in this guy. I was coasting through there with the drag cars, as you could expect. We just don't have the power. We're going to run out of steam at about 158 miles an hour. Or we're going to do exactly the same thing again, I think. Yeah. Whoa, come on, spin, get it back under control. Oh, I mean, that kind of worked. I will claim victory on that one. Somehow managed to regain control of it. We did go for a very high-speed spin. I think what I'm doing is I'm going on the brakes. I get too aggressive with the steering. I still want to keep very, very little movements where we go on the brakes initially, because the brakes have it. Once you jump on the brakes across these bumps, has a habit of kind of chucking the car slightly sideways or moving it about. And I'm trying to kind of counter it, and I'm doing a little bit too much, I think, is the mistakes I'm making with these vehicles. But this was remarkably good. I was expecting more troubles from this, but nope. However, still slower than the drag cars. The drag cars still take the fastest speeds. This one's slower than the Moonhawk. It only managed 156-ish miles an hour. Still pretty damn quick, and admirably controllable, actually, down the run. So, the second of the supercars, the SBR4. This one, the twin-turbo version, should be pretty quick. I don't know what top speed we're likely to see from this car, whether it'll be enough to displace the drag car. Again, I'm hoping for some decent control with this. It's got a raisable little rear wing that comes up when you go over a certain speed. How fast will we get before we come across this first slight kink in the straight? It's pretty damn quick coming up here, 127, 28 miles an hour. It's slightly slower than the other supercar. The controls, though, it deals again with all of this speed pretty well. Oh, I'm running towards the ditch. I can't get out of the ditch in time. Oh, there goes the back. No, the bridge. Oh, bloody hell. We we may have made a small small mistake on that one. I was kind of trying to do the small movements just to keep it from losing control of the car. And I didn't quite do big enough movements to get it out of the ditch. And once it got suckered into that ditch, that was it. That was parked. Oops. That might not quite have gone so well to plan on this opening run. Although it doesn't feel as fast as I was expecting it. I was, in honesty, expecting these to put up a bit more of a fight with the drag cars. I mean, the drag cars, sure, they might have the power, but I was expecting these to have control and be able to use more of their power. It is quick, don't get me wrong. Again, I can probably do it. I am doing 130 over there. I can probably do that flat in this car without any problems. And I am glad to see that you can control these cars. It is controllable at these kind of silly speeds. 160 miles an hour before hitting the bridge, and then try to take that one there flat out. And now we've got to try and get it under control across the bumps. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I needed to slow it down a bit more before then. I was trying a different idea, different tactic. As you can see, it didn't quite work. In fact, it didn't quite work so much. The whole engine is dead. It's very rare that you actually kill the engine. Normally it's the driveline that goes. I mean, the front of the car's not too bad. Just the engine has slightly fallen out and is propping up the rear. Okay, that tactic didn't work. My idea there was to not jump on the brakes immediately. It was trying to be a bit smoother under brakes, so I didn't have the same risk of sort of losing control of the car. Problem is, I didn't quite slow it down in time. There's a secondary bump after the petrol station that I hit on that one that launched us up into the air that we need to have slowed down a lot more for. So we really need to make sure we've got the car stopped by the time we go past the petrol station. 130 miles an hour again at the top of the course there. And then just easy does it down here. Little movements again on the steering. Flat out, no problems in the bumps, no problem at all. We're going to do 155 miles an hour again across there. And now we're going to start getting on the brakes. Get on the brakes, get on the brakes. Don't lose the back end. Oh, come on. Get stopped. Hey, there we go. Okay, it has done it. The front bumper has slightly fallen off, and I think the rear bumper has done a slightly similar story on that one. That was just from the landing of the jumps themselves. Yeah, trying to get this thing back under control again without locking all of the brakes up proved a little challenging. Quick car, and I think the other reason why getting it stopped was quite a bit more difficult, perhaps, is that this car was capable of carrying the speed down here. So after the bridge, everything else you're already slowing down because it doesn't have the grip. This thing does. So I was actually going quicker as I got to the petrol station than some of the other vehicles. However, its top speed down the course, it still couldn't beat the drag cars, even with the difficulty of controlling the drag cars. This thing couldn't quite do it. Oh, we're going to have a wiggle because I'm being a moron. It's an impressive vehicle to drive, this. Gotta say, impressive vehicle to drive, but the muscle cars are still leading the way. Well, with the supercars unable to displace the two muscle cars at the top of the table, it was time to go for something a bit silly. I thought I might as well have fun with these with these other cars. These are not going to challenge the top of the table. I don't actually know how fast this is going to get. Apparently we have no control over it. This is with the 600cc fuel-injected engine in this one. I genuinely don't know how fast this thing can get up to. I'm kind of interested to see, can we break 70 miles an hour in a three-wheeled Pigeon? The answer looks like yes, we might do it. I don't think we have done it. We are now officially speeding in the Pigeon. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, when we come to the jump, we will break it, because it's going to have a lot of stress on the front of the car, and that's a lot for one wheel to do. 80 miles an hour. Come on, we can get 100. No, we can't. I've lost control of the Pigeon. Oh, dear. It was such a tame crash. I overcooked it. The front wheel snapped off, and then we ended up on our roof, and the door slightly open. I'm amazed how quick this is, though. I was not expecting 80 miles an hour. I think we're about 85. This could possibly crack 100 going downhill. As I said, I really doubt we're going to survive. Really doubt we're going to survive the bridge kind of bump and jump. It won't do it, I don't think. Might do. I very, very highly doubt it, because you're putting so much stress on the front of the vehicle, but I will give it a good shot. Right, 70 7 miles an hour as we come up here. Oh, no, 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 don't fall over. Oh, it's fallen over. Oh, no. I did too much of a movement with the steering. Just that fraction too much, and that is one of the things you got to be very, very careful with. I mean, I was talking about it with the other cars. You have to be careful with the steering movements. You do too much, and you're going to lose the back end of the cars when they're at high speeds. The thing with this, when you do too much, you roll it. And yeah, we're not going. I can't imagine what this thing would be like trying to deal with 130, 140 miles an hour down here. I would love to give it enough power to try that. It probably wouldn't be drivable. You see there, I actually gave it too much steering input and it just started to get away from me. Fortunately, I was going slow enough and I could lift off in time that we didn't end up going onto our roof. 80 miles an hour in the three-wheeled Pigeon. Might be the fastest three-wheeled vehicle ever. Come on, we need to start going downhill to try and get that magical 100. I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're running out of power now. Yeah, I don't think we can do much more. The little downhill bit coming up. This is our best opportunity car. 83, 84, 85 miles an hour. Oh, it survived the bridge. Look at that. Well done, Pigeon. We survived the bridge. We're perfectly controllable. And now we get to go on the brakes. Carefully does it. Bring it down without locking everything up. 85 miles an hour in the Pigeon is respectable. That's really, really quite respectable, I reckon, for this vehicle. It did flip and roll over, but you have to be very, very smooth with the steering. But I'm amazed that it can deal with that kind of speed and the kind of the bump across the bridge and by the petrol station as well. Didn't overload everything. Pretty good going, actually, for what it is. The Pigeon was mighty impressive. Now, though, it is the turn of a van. V8 powered is the stage 2 tuning upgrade or whatever on the engine, so as fast as I can make this van. But of course control issues could be the biggest problem. I've also given it the 6-speed, it says it's a 6-speed automatic gearbox, so we should have sensible enough gear ratios to get this up to relatively sensible speeds. I will say sensible speeds. I have no idea how fast this thing is going to go. I don't know whether it could be about 127 we got the D series up to. If we could do that in a van, I would be quite impressed. We will very quickly find out. I mean, we're already up to 100 miles an hour as we come over here. Have we got the control? It's not ideal. It's not as nice as the supercars, but we can get it around there flat out. I didn't have to have a lift. Oh, we're starting to wander. Little steering movements. No. Little steering movements are still making a big effect on the van. 125, 6, 7, 128 before we took off. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I lost control of it. Bugger. There's an inconveniently placed sign right there, and a number of cars that ended up in that one there. Okay, the airtime off the bump is impressive down there. It really is mighty impressive, the amount of airtime. This thing really just bounces back up into the air after going across that bridge, and then once you're in the air, control is lost, and yeah, try to get it all together again. I mean, things like with the drag car, I was slowing down before that section of the run because I knew I can't do anything more. This, it hits its top speed just as we leave, just as we take off for the from the bridge. So we have to keep it nailed all the way down here, and it's just hope and pray that we don't bounce too much on the landing, and then I can fight it for control again. And unlike with that SBR3 or whatever the numbers and letters are for that, where you could keep foot down and you could keep control of it easily. This one here, once we leave the bridge, 128. Right, now look at that bouncing. Stop bouncing. I'm trying to get control, I have actually found some control in the van. I'm not sure how I managed that one. Van is okay. Van is slowed down. That is impressive bouncing. This definitely wins the bounce competition. Like, that really did not want to stop being in the air. But, I mean, that's 127 miles an hour. I think the speed I hit 130, but that might have been just as I took off or whatever. So, yeah, this is as quick as the pickup truck and the Covert. That's impressive. That is really rather impressive for a van. And finally, we have got the truck. Yes, I'm going to do a speed run in a truck. I've gone for the smallest version of the vehicle, as light as can be, in the hope that we might get some speed out of this. I also hope we have the turning circle to do. We do. We can get it turned around for going up here. I'm not expecting this to go particularly fast. I should think we won't. We probably won't have any problems with the bumps and so on in this in this truck. Again, I'm just curious to see what it is capable of doing. We're already up to 60 miles an hour. I think we're probably out of gears now. We are past the 70 mile an hour mark. It accelerates about as well as the Pigeon, up towards that 70. Now we are likely to, we're kind of going to struggle to probably get that much faster. Having said that, though, we are now up to 84, 85. We're going quicker than the Pigeon did. Can we get 100? I doubt it. This downhill bit will help, I should hope. Oh, we could go back in time now. We're up to, come on, 90. Come on, give me 90 miles an hour, truck. There we go. Maybe another 2. There we go, 92, 93, 4, 95 miles an hour as we come across the bridge, still flat out at this stage. We're going to have to... oh, no. I locked it all up. That is the issue. We're getting on the brakes too much, too heavy. We got it back together again. 90 odd miles an hour, about 90, 95, I think. We saw just as we got to the bridge. I actually maintained that speed really well. Also, after crossing the bridge, we didn't have any problems with the bumps. The truck, yeah, pretty good choice for doing a speed run in. Yeah, that is actually quite surprised how well controllable the truck was at 90 miles an hour. There we go. That is all of the vehicles from the standard game, if you like, taken down this speed running road. So on to the leaderboard, and it is the Barstow that will take victory with 172 mile an hour top speed. Second place, things get all very, very close. The Moonhawk technically comes in second place. Both of the supercars actually had a faster run, but one of the run ended in a crash. I was actually surprised to see the variations in speed between some of the runs. Yeah, you could see in brackets there the runs that the cars had an accident on, but on the official runs they were just a couple of miles an hour. It's very, very close between all of them. The 200BX, actually very impressive speed from that 154 miles an hour. It's only 4 miles an hour down on the supercars on this particular course. Quicker than the Sunburst as well, that just runs out of power, though very nice handling. The van, 128 miles an hour from the van, puts it ahead of the Covet, and the D-Series, the Pazima, is down towards the bottom with 117 miles an hour, and then come the silly vehicles, the truck with the 96, the Pigeon with 85. The Grand Marshal, actually a very quick car, that's 144 miles an hour. It was quicker than the Sunburst in a straight line, but was horrendously difficult to control. It couldn't... You get to 144, and then you got to the bridge, and it all went horribly wrong, and before that, it just wasn't a nice car to drive. So the Grand Marshal technically didn't set a clean run, but yeah, there we go. That is the speed. It's actually a good fun challenge with these. I've never really done speed running before on this game. It was interesting to see what the cars were capable of. As far as this goes, if people want to see me try this with some modded cars, if people want to see me turn this into sort of a little bit more of a mini-series with various modded vehicles and silly stuff, then please do let me know in the comments. If lots of people want to see me give it a try, then I will probably go speed running with some more vehicles. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.